Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. How is everyone today? Well, it is Template Thursday, and I will be going through template number 10 today in our card sketch. So if you've been following along, we're on page 22 in the annual catalog with basic card design. And so there are all these great card sketches at the bottom. This is the cover. If you need one of these annual catalogs and don't have a demonstrator, I'm happy to mail you one. Just shoot me a message at stampinqueenb@yahoo.com and I will be happy to send one your way. So we have done all of the first 9 templates, and we are working today on card sketch template number 10. And so I just keep all mine in the card keeper box, so it's a great pattern box to flip through. And we will have all of those when you need like some inspiration, something that's gonna like spark your creativity, something that just gets your juices flowing. Then these patterns are great for that. So let's get started on today's sketch. So you're gonna need just a few pieces today. So we've got our card base, this is just basic white, and I've already cut and folded and scored that. We need a focal piece. So today I'm using designer series paper, and this is from the Marbled Elegance designer series paper set. Love this. It's got beautiful reds and pinks and gold. Beautiful, beautiful paper. So I will be using that today here. And then we're gonna need another focal layer, and here are the measurements. We're also gonna need some twine or thread or ribbon. So we've got our card base, then we've got our faux scroll that we're gonna create, and this one is 3 1/4 by 1 1/2. And then this piece of basic white here is gonna be 2 1/2 by 2, and then your twine, thread, or ribbon. And this is card sketch number 10. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. I'll just pause for a second. We're gonna need some paper snip scissors. You're gonna need a few different adhesives for this one that I like to use. And it's a pretty simple card. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So this first piece here, our designer series paper, you can use either side. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our paper snips here, and we're gonna create a little faux scroll. So we're just going to banner these edges. So all I did was slice up the middle, and then I'm just gonna connect point to point to give us this banner image. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you wanna just do it very shallow for this one. You don't wanna slice way into here because then we won't see our banner. And then we're just gonna go from the corner to that point, and then again from this corner to back to that point. And that creates our lovely banner here. Now, if you have a die that is similar in size or shape, you can use that as well. But our paper snips work just great for that. So now we've got our faux banner, our faux scroll here, we'll call it. And we're gonna grab some liquid adhesive for this piece. And we're just gonna go ahead and add this kind of to the center, almost towards the top here. And we'll just center that right on. So the next part of this sketch that we're gonna do is we're gonna add some ribbon or thread or twine. So since there is gold in my paper here, I'm gonna use our new gold thread. I love this. And so my little trick for this is I kind of unroll it from the roll, and then I just take, kind of line it up with my 4 fingers there, and there's no exact to this. And then I'm just gonna go around like 3 times so that I can snip that off. And because we're going to create sort of like a little squiggle bow, not really a bow. So I like to wrap it around my fingers like that, pull it off, and pinch it in the middle. So then I have kind of this kind of messiness. You can kind of pull some of them longer, some of them shorter, because we want it to kind of look like that, right? So for this to stick, I like to take my Stampin' Seal Plus, and I just keep this in my hand, and you could also do this before, but I just put a few little strips of that adhesive in the middle there. It's going to get covered up by our focal layer, and so we're just going to then stick this to that. So it's just kind of like a placeholder, and then I kind of fan these out to how I want them. Make sure they're kind of stuck there, and so far that is step 2. We're just adding some of that thread. Now on this image, or on this piece, the 2.5 by 2, you could stamp on this, you could emboss this and then cut out a sentiment. You could do all kinds of things with this, but this is going to go right over that. And so for this, we're going to need a bit of Stampin' Dimensionals. So like 3 adhesives for this, right? And so we're just going to get these, and we're not going to put them all in the middle because we don't want it to be bumpy. And since we have some, you could use ribbon or whatever you're using here, we kind of want this center to be open to leave some room for that, right? Because if we put a dimensional there, then it's going to raise that middle a bit higher. So we're just going to peel the backings off of these. And then we're just going to take our focal layer here and center that right over. So we have this beautiful faux scroll. And so you see, that's why I kind of wanted these looking messy, so they're kind of all over. And that is our template, our card sketch template number 10. How easy, right? So here are the measurements for that and the finished project. So it always goes from behind. So the first measurement is this behind one. Then our top one is this one. And I guess our thread is in the middle of there. Okay, and then of course I always like to show you a finished card. So here is a finished thanks card that uses that same template with the, this is the Meandering Meadows paper. Behind, you can see I've stamped thanks 3 times on there and done a little bit of splatter. This one I used some white thread, some white baker's twine, and then a couple of embellishments. And so card sketch number 10, easy peasy, right? And a great way to use up some of these DSP scraps, to use some of our ribbons and threads and twines. And it's simple, but very, very nice card, right? If you missed any of our previous card sketches, 1 through 9, you can find those on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. You can also find them in my Template Thursday playlist on my YouTube channel at Stampin' Queen Bee. And as always, I super appreciate you watching, liking this video, sharing this with your friends, subscribing if you haven't yet, and of course, shopping with me if you don't have another demonstrator. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys soon.